I'm Zach.
And this is Willie.
And we are Galaxy Tripping.
Welcome to our home, a 1992 Toyota Hilux Galaxy.
We love getting off the beaten path, so we needed an expedition vehicle. The Hilux Galaxy really hit the nail on the head. However, being 30 years old, it needed some upgrades.
And while we didn't mess too much with the Galaxy's original interior build, we did have to make some big upgrades to get it ready for life on the road.
We still have a lot of projects to work on, and there's always room for improvement. But for now, let's go check out our home.
Come on. Welcome. Like I said, the Galaxy's original build is still pretty much all the same. We still have the cabinets, the kitchen, the table, everything. We kind of just took it all apart and put it back in. But there was a big reason why we had to do that. So before we get into the tour, let's have Zach explain it to you.
You're probably wondering why we would tear the whole thing apart in the first place. So there are two very important reasons for that. Number one is insulation, and number two, we had to redo the electrical system. So this camper, when we got it, is essentially a 30-year-old house. Everything inside of it was old. Appliances, devices, certain systems weren't working. So we decided to gut it and start fresh. So as far as the electrical system goes, mostly everything that we had inside of this RV ran off of 100 volts. In Japan, they run off 100 volts AC at 50 hertz. Here in the United States, we run off of 120 volts AC at 60 hertz. So there was a big compatibility issue. And so the easiest thing was to just tear it apart and start fresh. So the reason why we tore the whole thing down to the shell, which by the way is a 100% fully fiberglass shell, subfloor, the whole thing, which is great. However, there wasn't a single piece of insulation in this entire camper. When the sun hit it, it turned into a giant hot box. So we tore it down and we decided to go with Reflectix material.
So like Zach explained, most of these renovations did happen behind the scenes, but if you've seen some of our previous videos, you may notice that the fabric is very different. So let's start over here. So as far as design goes, we actually really loved the old fabric, but it was dirty, it was worn down, and we knew that with our dog, it would only be a matter of time before it was completely torn apart. Plus, we knew that if we ever wanted to get a good night's sleep, we were going to have to upgrade the cushions, which were very old and as hard as a rock. Unfortunately, thanks to supply chain issues and tight deadlines, I wasn't able to completely upgrade the cushions, but what I did was I removed the fabric, I added in a Tempur-Pedic layer, and then I covered it up with the new fabric. And as far as this fabric goes, this is a brand new high quality outdoor umbrella fabric. It does amazing against Willie's muddy paws. It's very easy to clean. And I chose this color because you can't really tell right now, but unless you have all of the windows open and all the lights on a sunny day, it can feel pretty dark and enclosed in here. So we really wanted to make sure that we could bring a little sunshine in here, a little bit of a pop of color, and we really love what it does for us. Next up, let's walk you through the whole living area. So this is our kitchen. Again, we kept everything exactly as it was. We love their cabinets. We use them to store our food. We actually have food stored underneath here as well, and we have some dishes. So even though it's a small space, it really does a good job storing everything we need for 2 people and a dog. When we did the renovations, we also added in a new induction stove for convenience, a brand new microwave, and also upgraded the fridge.
One of our biggest upgrades was to go with Red Arc. Red Arc makes some very fantastic products. And this here, as you can see, is a Red Vision control panel. We can control all of the electrical from this Red Vision, and we can even control it right from the phone, which is a huge upgrade.
So as far as actual remodeling goes, the only area that we really touched is this one over here. So to make space for the new fridge, we had to kind of repurpose this space as a slide out drawer. We also reused the old TV cubby space for some additional storage of household items. And what may be most important is we did repurpose these barriers to create a slide out door. The reason for this is because our dog Willie is a reactive dog. He came to us like that as a rescue. So it was really important to us to have some sort of gate mechanism that could keep him from going into the front of the vehicle. So this is ideal for when we're in a busy parking lot or something like that, and we don't want him running up there and barking his head off at a whole bunch of people. However, I will say that when it makes sense, we do let him go on up there because he's a pretty awesome alarm system. Now over here we have our dinette. This is where we hang out most of the time when we're in the RV. It's where we eat our food, play our games, do our work, and it's really comfy, and we love that even in a small space like this, we have an awesome area to relax. It also doubles as a bed, which I'll show you in just a little bit. And since this is our sleeping area, up here we have our clothing, and this is where we pack everything away in some of these nice little packing cubes.
When you live in a tiny space, you have to get really creative with storage solutions. So we came up with this pouch storage solution. We hang them up on walls and on the inside of cabinet doors, and it's just a great way to start getting some things out of the way up on the wall that makes them really easily accessible. So right behind me is the bathroom in this corner of the RV. It takes up a decent amount of space. So we wanted to utilize as much of that space for storage, but also balance that with still having the functionality for using the bathroom. One project that I wish I got to before we hit the road was an outdoor storage solution. Right now we're storing all of our adventure gear inside. So here you can see that we even have my skis hanging up. We have a fishing rod inside, and we have all of our backpacks and everything with all of our gear stashed in cubbies, and it's not always easy to get to, but it's here for when we need it.
So last but not least, you're probably wondering, where the heck should we sleep in this small little space? And we actually have 2 beds, and we use both of them depending on our mood. So when it's a cold night, Zach and Willie and I tend to snuggle up on the dinette bed, but all other nights, especially right now when we're in the desert, we tend to sleep separately because we have the space to. So this is where I've been sleeping lately. This is also a really awesome hangout spot for me in the day when I'm either working on my laptop or just reading a book. And what's really nice is we don't really have to set up everything over here. The only reason Zach doesn't usually join me up here is because he's 6'2", and unless he sleeps completely diagonally, it's just not enough room for him up here, whereas on the dinette bed, he does have plenty of space to stretch out. So that's pretty much everything we have to show you about the Galaxy.
We've been having an awesome time on the road in this thing, so thanks for checking it out with us.
If you have any questions about the Galaxy or about life on the road or literally anything else for us, just let us know in the comments and we'll get back to you.
Bye.
Bye.